Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome to day 2 of the Book High Vibe Spiritual Life Coaching Clients 3-day challenge. Give me just a moment. If you are coming in now watching this live, please let me know if you can hear and see me okay. If you could do a sound check for me. And I will get this pinned to the announcement section. By the way, if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, come on over to my group. It's called The Profitable Psychic. There's a link down in the description box below. And you'll be able to watch the other live streams that I do live or other trainings that we do in the future. So if you're not yet in my group, come on over. There's also Psychic Hotline School, which is if you want to learn how to make money on the psychic hotlines, there's that group and community available as well. Okay, looks like we have some people coming in. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Can we get a sound check before we start? So I'll just do a recap. We are on day 2. So yesterday we talked all about what are high vibe clients, what are low vibe clients, what's a high value coach versus a not high value coach. Hey, Lauren, Jennifer, thank you so much for the sound check. I appreciate that. Good to see you guys. So today we're going to talk more about the practical. Yesterday we talked a lot about the mindset involved when trying to position yourself as a high value spiritual life coach. Today we're going to talk about some of my favorite things to talk about, which are income generating activities. So what are the things that you need to be doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, in order to see some momentum in your business? And by momentum, what do I mean by that? I mean, actually seeing your audience starting to grow, seeing your group starting to grow, getting more Instagram followers, getting more YouTube subscribers. So we want to see growth, right? That's the first thing we want to see. The second thing we want to see is increase in income. Okay, so that's going to be really, really important. Seeing some type of increase in income. So that's what we mean by momentum. Growth and income, those two things. Hey, Viola, good to see you. Chantel, thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. There's going to be several things that we're going to talk about today, but there's going to be a little, like 3 different categories. So the first thing I want to talk about is going to be intention segmenting. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is getting into the vortex. And the third thing I'm going to be talking about is what do we need to do on a daily and a weekly and even a monthly basis to see growth and momentum. Okay. So those of you out there that are really into law of attraction, have you guys ever heard of intention segmenting before? Is this a new concept for you, a new term, or are you familiar with the law of attraction process called intention segmenting? Hey, Celia, good to see you. Thanks for coming. So intention segmenting, it's actually, I wouldn't say Abraham made up this idea. It didn't come from Esther Hicks. It's something that's been around for a while, but through the law of attraction, we call it intention segmenting. Different coaches, different motivational people out there are going to call it something a little bit different. Celia says she does intentions, and Viola says, yes, she kind of has an idea about what this is. Okay, cool. So one of the things that was brought up yesterday, and actually this comes up a lot, is learning how to pace yourself, especially if you're the type you haven't found that level of consistency. Like, you haven't like figured out what your exact flow is, and actually that changes for everybody. Often it can change yearly. It can change based on your health. It can change based on your mental health. It can change based on your external circumstances. Okay. So your flow is like how much effort really that you give forth, and how much effort, how often that you give forth to achieve these certain markers that you want to achieve. Like, 1K months or 5K months or 10K months or 20K months, like we tend to hear that kind of terminology. Svetlana says, finding teachers like Seth, Neville Goddard, and Joseph Mercy really cleared everything up for me. Good. I'm glad. Celia says, I pace myself with the moon phases. That's one way you can do it. And I will be coming out with a course coming up very soon. It's called Moon Marketing Magic. And it's going to be talking about how to actually market according to the moon. So that's going to be the next program that I push out. It's almost pretty much done. I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to launch it this year. We'll see how that kind of goes. But I really want to make sure that I really take my time with it, because there's a lot that you can do with it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I have to figure out what's the most pertinent information. And how is it different from everything else that everybody else is doing out there, right? One of those things. So intention segmenting is more or less when you sit down with yourself and you say, okay, self, what would I like to manifest today, right? What are my to-do list things for today? What do I want to manifest? I want to manifest a new client, or I want to manifest course sales, or I want to manifest selling 5 readings. So however you quantify that for yourself, what the days that you do work, you should be waking up in the morning and thinking, okay, or whenever you get up, okay, is it that I actually want to manifest today? What are going to be these, like, I'm going to really push my energy and focus my intention. I'm going to segment my intention towards these things on my list of things to do, right? So intention segmenting is one way that you can kind of pace yourself. First of all, you probably want to set up some type of schedule. So let me run through my schedule very briefly, because people have been asking for this for a really long time. Like, what do I actually do on a day-to-day basis? Okay. So my main work days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Those are the 3 days a week that I know I'm probably going to be working from like around 9 to 10 a.m. to about 4 to 5 p.m. Those are my big days, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays are kind of like my back end days. So Tuesdays is kind of where I catch up on things and I just do back end stuff like accounting or sending out a newsletter, things where I don't have to like actually be on camera or do a live stream, or I can just kind of sit in my pajamas and just, wherever I am, camp out in the living room, watch Netflix. Right now I'm watching that new Fate show. It's called The Winx Saga. I just started that last night. I don't know if you guys have have looked into that, but it's on Netflix and I just started it last night. So I was really, that looks really cute. It's about fairies and stuff. It's like Harry Potter, but fairy Potter. That's what my husband called it. It's like fairy Potter because it's like Harry Potter, but like fairies. Um, yeah. Hey, Jenna, good to see you. Vivian. Yeah. So Thursdays are my days where I don't obligate myself to work in it. And in fact, I try really hard to not work on Thursdays. And Thursdays are a little bit different for me because I try to do like therapy stuff on Thursdays for myself, like mental health stuff. Like I do snake therapy. You guys know, some of you know about Mojo and Jinx, my 2 ball pythons that I've started working with last year. Have done some shamanic work with them. I'll hang out with them. I'll do like journaling, or I'll do like creative things. I'll get into the vortex. And by getting into the vortex for me, that means basically like making myself like a fort and getting out all of my colored pencils and my crayons and my journals and my notebooks and all of my cute little things, stationery stuff, and just creating, just doing something creative. Lately, my really awesome thing that I've been doing lately that I've been like so obsessed with is bedazzling, and they call it blinging, I think, where you like put rhinestones on things. So it's kind of like a meditative thing where and in fact, when I'm doing a piece, I'll set an intention, segment intending, where I'll set an intention for, what do I want this piece, what magic, what energy do I want to imbue in this, right? And every time I put down a rhinestone, I'll think about that intention. So I try to do creative things on Thursdays. Now, Mondays, it pretty much looks like Mondays I come in around probably 9 to 10. I take my time getting up in the morning, make myself some coffee, do my card of the day, sit down, wash my face, brush my teeth, take care of myself, make sure there's no dishes in the sink, and just kind of pick up clothing from the night before, just kind of pick up the trash, just kind of set the tone for the day that I'm clearing and organizing my space and clearing out that clutter so I can focus, because I'm a Virgo moon. I don't know if we have any Virgos in here, but I cannot focus in like utter chaos. Like I have my own brand of chaos, and I'm like, I would say I'm a messy, clean person, but like I cannot do work. I cannot concentrate if there are things around me. So that's what I'll do. Take my time, get up, do that. The first thing I do is I come in here, start drinking my coffee, start checking emails. And I'll check all the emails and I'll prioritize emails. If you guys don't know which, let me put this in the comments really quickly. This is a website that I use a lot. It's officially called Bedazzling. Virgo sun. Okay. So I use Trello. And so what I do is I create a card in Trello, which is kind of like a little vision board in Trello. And I'll set, like, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I will sit for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And I'll start going through emails, because then I'll prioritize emails. Like, I'll be like, okay, there's some emails that are just asking me questions about things that aren't in like immediate response. There are emails from private clients or students, or there's emails from people asking me how to buy something, or, just general customer service. So I'll sit there and do that, and I'll make myself a note in Trello, follow up with this person for this, follow up with this person for this, follow up with this person for this. Okay. So, and Trello is free, by the way. Renee, you're so funny. And so I'll do the emails, and then I go in priority about, who is at the VIP list, right? So Monday morning, if my private clients or people that are like in a live class or something like with me, or they're one-on-one people, or they're paying for some type of like messenger support or something, I will hit those people up first. And then probably that's around 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then I will start going into my group programs. So we have the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach program. I go in there, office hours. I'll answer wall questions. I will do homework feedback. I'll check up on people. And that will usually take me to about 11. And then 11, I take a break for about 45 minutes and have lunch with my husband, because he works from home. So me and him will meet up. We'll cook something, talk about how was your morning, blah, blah, blah. And then about like 12:45, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, really? That's so funny. And about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then I will start on the lesser priority things. Like, I will answer some of those follow-up emails. I will answer some free questions in the group. I will go on YouTube and approve any comments on YouTube and like answer those questions if I can. If they're a really in-depth question, like I have to save it for later. I just can't deal with it right then, right? And so then I start looking at, okay, everybody's taken care of. I've answered all the messages. I've done my office hours. Everybody's good. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. And so now I'm probably at 1, 2, maybe 2:30 in the afternoon. And so then I try to find things to do till about 4. 4 is about when I start kind of shutting down, start closing things out, any last minute things. But from like 2 to 4, I try to, what I call, get into the vortex. That's another law of attraction term. Getting into your vortex basically means getting into your happy place, getting into your creative place. I'll put some music on. I love listening to Pandora. I love listening to, right now, I'm super into Ashnikko. I'm super into Megan Thee Stallion. I'm really into Doja Cat. So those are like, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm into like Portishead and Fantagram and Massive Attack. It just depends on my mood for the day. But I like to put on some like hot girl music and just, start getting into my vortex. And so, what I like to do is I like to do like graphic design, or I'll put together some workbooks, or I'll also maybe go on Pinterest and make like a little vision board about something I'm creating. So it's kind of like playtime, but also work time at the same time, if that makes sense. Vivian says, you are really good to your followers, a gracious queen. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So Sherry says, I've been using Trello for years. Yeah, I love Trello. Hey, Amy, good to see you. Jenna says, Megan, yeah, I love Megan. She's doing Hottie Boot Camp. I don't know if you've seen that, but I've been like following her, watching her do that. It's amazing. Yeah, listen to whatever you want. If you like Stevie Nicks, or if you, who cares? Just listen to whatever you want. Or maybe don't. Just put on some meditation music or something. You can do whatever you want to get into your vortex. So that's Monday. Tuesdays, I usually try to do back end stuff, like any emails I didn't get to or that weren't high priority, like, messaging about like how to like trying to get like free advice, basically, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I get it. But it's like at the bottom of my list of things to do. So Tuesday, I'll try to, help people a little bit, maybe answer some questions in the group, but I try not to do too much social, because if I'm on social media 5 days a week, I just can't do it, you guys. I can't do it. So Tuesday, I might send out or craft or write some copywriting, like maybe in sending out my newsletter or putting together like some type of motivational content or writing out some scripts for YouTube videos or bullet pointing some YouTube videos on like topics that I want to do, pulling out my creative journals, thinking, okay, in here that I want to work on, right? So Tuesdays, I just kind of take it slow. And then Wednesdays are my like super crazy busy days. Start at 9 o'clock in the morning, probably end around 5. Those are my like live stream days. Those are my podcast collaboration days. Those are my one-on-one client days. So Wednesdays are like if I need to wake up like 2 hours early, look pretty, curl my hair, put my makeup on, do extra stuff to be presentable. Those are the days that I try to commit on Wednesdays. Thursdays, I try not to do very much. Like I said, those are more of my like meditative, kind of go into myself, create my little cocoon, my creative cocoon, and just, do like crafts and arts and crafts and just kind of stimulate myself in other ways. And more of like a meditative process. So doing arts, dancing, yoga, making a home cooked meal, like taking a really good shower, doing the body scrub, kind of like a self-care day, if you will. Jenna says, I love hearing about how others use their time and schedules. I know it's fascinating, right? Maybe we could do a post that like you could share your schedule with everybody. Yeah, Vila says, I would love to learn more about how you use Trello at some point. I've heard it recommended, but didn't think I need to learn something new unless it'd be really helpful. I wouldn't say I use it in any complicated way. I would just say I use it as opposed to like it's where I go, the one place to go where I just kind of transcribe all of the crazy ideas and thoughts and stuff like that I have into one place digitally. So it's like in that one place. And then you can actually make multiple boards. So you can have one board for scheduling out your social media posts, ideas. You could have one board for your one-on-one clients. You could have one board for like your tasks and priorities and things like that. Yeah. Vila says, it's not that you're not doing very much. Those are the days where you're feeding your creativity and you sow those seeds on a busier day. And that's very true. I have chronic illness. I have learned that I can't do it all every single day. I need a day in between being a superhero. It's just, I have to chill and relax. Otherwise, I back myself into a corner, and I've done that so many times that I have broken myself out of that cycle, thankfully. Kara says, this is super helpful. I've assumed you worked more than 40 hours a week or more and on social media every day to quick respond. Yes, you can drag things around, Vila. You can drag things around. You can, so I'll have like one board. It's like, okay, tasks of things to do. The next or card, I'll have one card of tasks of things to do. The next card, tasks that are done or tasks that need follow up. And you can kind of just drag and drop them where you need to go. Love it. Also, Asana is a really good one, but Asana is more for like teams and it's more robust, but Trello is like, pretty easy for everybody. And then, so Thursdays, yeah, I'm taking my breaks. I'm doing my self-care. I'm doing my beauty treatments. I'm doing my face. Jenna, by the way, runs a wonderful DIY skincare. So if you are like really interested in like up-leveling your skincare and doing your own skin treatments, get with Jenna because she'll invite you to her group. It's awesome. And I've learned a lot. She has taught me a lot over the last couple of years, especially if you're on video like I am and you wear makeup a lot like I do. You need to take, taking care of your skin is really important. Anyways, so Fridays is kind of like what I would call a free-for-all kind of day. Fridays, I try to get into a really, really good mood. I try to bring a lot of positivity into my communities. I try to release YouTube videos on Fridays. Usually like I'll do like upload like 2 or 3 of them on Fridays if I can. That usually happens maybe once or twice a month. Also on Fridays, like I will try to pitch something. Like I'll say, okay, today is a day that I'm definitely going to try to sell something. And I'll usually pitch something like buy a course or pitch a session. And sometimes you guys don't see me selling a lot. It's because I have a lot of different communities. So I sell in different areas. Like, so if I have one-on-one spots available, I'll put that in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach group. Like, those Profitable Psychic people will never get access to that because that's something that, there's a wait list for that, right? So you guys won't see me selling that. But let's say in the Profitable Psychic, sometimes you will see me selling like this, the Market Yourself course, or like a workshop that I have, or maybe doing like a collab with someone else or something like that. So Fridays are definitely the days I try to actually pitch. I try to sell. I make an intention that I want to make. I basically say that I want to make $1,000 every weekend. Like the money that comes in the week before is really nice and all, but I try to set like, I want to make $1,000 this weekend, right? So I try to think of things that I'm going to put out there that I'm going to promote. And I can actually, even on Facebook in groups and stuff, you can schedule out posts. So a lot of the times it looks like I'm here. I'm actually not here because I've just scheduled things out. So that makes sense. I like to use, for social media scheduling, I like to use Hootsuite because it posts to Instagram. And I like that you can do like 33 posts, I think, on a free account. What I usually use mostly is Post Planner. So, and that I pay like $11 a month for that. And I have it up to like, I think 10 accounts. I think they have a cheaper one. I think it's $3 a month. And I think you can have 3 accounts. So on Post Planner, you can't post to Instagram, but you can post to like, your Facebook business page, your Facebook groups, your timeline, that kind of thing. So that's what I use. Also, let's see. So I use that mainly. Am I thinking of anything else? I can't think of anything else that I use like on a daily basis other than really those things. Canva, but that's not really, Okay, so that's kind of like what my weeks looks like. Saturdays and Sundays, I don't work. I try not to work unless I make a sale. The only reason why I would work on a Saturday or Sunday is if there's like drama going on and I need to handle it, or I need to boot someone, or a sale comes in and I have to do an orientation or something like that. So I try not to work on the weekends, but if a sale comes in, I'm more than happy to step up and do that. And then, making sure I set myself times in the year where I'm taking at least a week off at a time. That's also really important. I didn't do that last year because I think I was just so frazzled from like everything going on last year that I actually didn't do that last year. And I could definitely tell a difference by like November. I was tired. And then I knew we were going to have to do the 12 days of Christmas and then jump right into this challenge. And so I'm going to try my best to find some time in February, towards the end of February, to take some time off because I absolutely need to do it. I'm tired. So that's my week. Okay. So when talking about pacing yourself, intention segmenting can be just as simple as, okay, I'm going to do these 5 tasks today. These are the 5 tasks I need to complete. I'm going to set aside 20 minutes and give myself 20 minutes for each task. For example, if my first task of the day is to follow up with leads from the previous day, or to follow up with emails, okay, that's a task. So what I'm going to do is, this is especially helpful if you don't want to do things, because we all feel like that sometimes. So let's say I don't really want to do something, but I know it needs to be done. And so I'll sit there and I'll say, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes. If I don't want to do this after 20 minutes and I want to run out of this room screaming, that's my prerogative and I can do that. But at least I've spent 20 minutes on this one task. Okay. And, some days you sit there and it's 3 hours later and you're good. You just needed that out clause. You needed that exit strategy to, talk yourself mentally into doing things. And then I'll go down the list. Okay, I spent 20 minutes on doing that. Fine. Now go to the next thing on the list. All right. Maybe it's something like, I'm going to do some market research or something. I'm going to post something into my groups or post something online and ask a question and see where people are struggling, where they want me to create content, or offer like a mini like group coaching thread where it's like, I don't do these very often anymore because I simply don't have the time. But you guys have been around for a while. You probably remember doing Wednesdays, doing like group coaching threads where I put a thing like, what are you struggling with right now? What 5-minute thing can I help you with? What quick and easy answer do you need really quickly? And I would put that on, leave it on for about 2 hours and answer people and then close comments, and then I'm done. I'm cutting the cords with that. I'm done, moving on to the next thing. So that could be a thing that you put on. Other things that you could do are certain things like following up with your regulars. That's a really big thing. A lot of people don't do that retargeting. They don't follow up with the people that they've sold to in the past. So that's another thing. Reaching out to past clients, seeing how they're doing, seeing if if they need any help, or if, just putting out the line, putting out that lifeline, and seeing if people need some help, and saying, for all they can say, yeah, actually I've been meaning to contact you. I need to book a session. Or yeah, actually, you must have been thinking about me psychically or something, because we say that all the time because we're psychics. That, I needed this, I've been thinking about this thing and I kind of need a reading on it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to ask you or not. So, reaching out to past people is also a really good thing. Lynn says, I remember those and they were great. Yeah, I like to do them. I love to do them when I have the time. All right, that's intention segmenting. Easy, right? If you can commit yourself to doing 20 minutes of it, doesn't matter what it looks like. If you can just commit yourself, then there you go. That's something that will help you. I think I've also kind of explained getting into the vortex. Yeah. So getting into the vortex is kind of like you're creating your cocoon, where you are in your creative elements and you're in your creative space and you're kind of at play. Some things I really like to do during that time also is like play on Pinterest and make vision boards, or watch YouTube videos, like educate myself. Or one of my things that I really like to do, I've always loved to do this, is learn different languages. So I'm currently learning Korean and Spanish and French and German. So I'll just pick a language and I'll just sit down and, spend 20 minutes learning a language, finding ways to up level yourself, finding ways to challenge yourself and stimulate yourself. One of my other things that I've been really into lately too is learning about classical music. So I'll put like on Pandora on my Alexa. What is it called? Your Alexa, that little Amazon thing that we have, everybody has. So I'll put on some classical music, and then if I find something I really like, I'll ask what the name is and I'll write it down. So I've just been kind of, doing things like that. So getting into the vortex, intention segmenting, we've pretty much covered it. Now, let's talk about income generating activities versus non-income generating activities. So I guess we'll start with the non-income generating activities. And let's say like the biggest mistakes that I see people making when it comes to trying to sell. So the very first thing is, if you are doing free readings and free coaching, you're definitely going to want to stop that ASAP. You should not be meeting people for free on video or the phone for maybe longer than 15 minutes. If you're doing discovery calls, stop doing discovery calls. If you've been taught to do coffee chats or tea chats, stop doing those as well, because you really have to establish these boundaries that you are not going to work for free. Now, if it's something that takes you 5 minutes and it's something that you don't mind helping someone with, and it's someone who's bought a lot from you in the past, that's one thing. But, these people, because you'll be able to tell intuitively, this person is asking for too much in exchange for what they're giving me back, right? So just be honest about that. So stop. No free readings, no free cards of the week, no tarot scopes, no, that kind of thing. If you want to actually be a coach, you have to set standards that you're not going to give the best of yourself for free, that you're going to reserve the best of yourself for your premium high paying clients. Okay. Discovery call. Vivian says, why no discovery call? The only reason I think that you should be getting on a discovery call is if you're talking about like $1,000 package, or you're talking about a $5,000 package. People don't need to talk to you to spend less than $400. Okay. People don't talk to me to spend $300 on my course. They don't talk to me to book a $400 90-minute session. They don't do that. All right. People don't. When you start getting closer to like 1,000 and you start getting like multiple thousands of dollars, then discovery calls, sure. But you could have sold a 15. If you were going to do a discovery call, you could have charged for that. I mean, why would you want to do that for free? So we're going to also talk about how to position yourself. So instead of discovery calls, what do we do? Market yourself as a spiritual life coach, people. What do we do? What do we do instead of discovery calls? What do we do? Who knows? If someone guesses the right answer, I will gift you a 1-card reading in Messenger over voice. Market yourself as a spiritual life coach, people. What's the answer? How do we position ourselves? Celia says, I have pick card readings on my YouTube channel so someone can see how I read. I just wouldn't commit to doing like those every single week. I would say, like, if you have a couple of those up, send some ad money to it and be done with it. Nobody knows. Sales funnel, yes. Live stream, yes. Group, think. Why would you spend 20 minutes on a discovery call with one person when you could have created a piece of content that will speak to thousands of people in that same 15 minutes? It's a complete waste of time to get on the phone with someone for more than 15 minutes just to talk about if they're interested in working with you. Absolutely. So create content, email your list, and pitch your offer. Create a live stream where you talk about who your coaching is for and who it isn't for, what services and products that you have available right now. Okay. Group stuff. So your one-on-one time, guys, is your most valuable asset that you have. It's the one resource that you have a limited amount of. So that should be your one-on-one time should be your highest ticket item that you have. Okay. Does that make sense? Group live stream, sharing tips. Yes. Yeah. Why would you give someone 15 minutes of your premium time one-on-one when you can make a live stream and talk to 1,000 people? Why would you do it? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. All right. So stop doing that. If you want to put up some demos, like coaching session demos, like where you record a session with someone, or you do like a reading demo, like so people can get an idea of how you read and what your style is, put that up there. Don't create too many of them, but just put it up there and just send ad money to it. Put like $1 a day on it for like a couple weeks, and then it will naturally start to like boost itself into the algorithm, and then you'll talk to thousands of people. Also, you can reuse that content. You can't reuse a private call. Yeah. Okay. So no free readings, no tarot scopes, no horoscope thingies, unless you're charging for like a membership. Like you need to make sure that whenever you are putting out a piece of content, that you know how it's making you money. If you go and sit down and you look at this piece of content and you can't it's not very clear about how it's going to make you money or how you're going to utilize it in the future to make money, it's probably not worth your time to put out. So as a content creator, okay, content is the cornerstone of your brand. So niching. So let's talk about niching just a little bit and talking about content a little bit, because people are really interested in this, right? And this is like what is really going to change everything for you is creating content. If you aren't creating content, you don't have a brand, you don't have trust, you don't have validity, you don't have any type of establishment of who you are. The truth is that it does take a while to establish yourself. And when you can't wait a while, you use ads. So in life, and in business, things will either take time or money, right? Most people, it's going to take you about a year to start hitting those 5K months without utilizing ads. And that's because you're consistently creating content. And you have to be very specific about the type of content. You have to make sure that it's aligned with what you're selling. For example, and this is one of the biggest things that people do, that tarot readers do. Tarot readers will start creating content because they want to establish themselves as a good tarot reader, but they'll start creating content that teaches other people how to read tarot cards, and then they'll wonder why they're not getting clients. It's because they're teaching their audience how to read tarot cards. So why would they hire you, right? Now, if you were a tarot reader who wanted to niche into teaching people how to read tarot cards, then that would be an acceptable sales funnel. Then you could teach to your heart's content. But if you're trying to get life coaching clients and you're releasing content about how to read tarot cards and you're not positioning it in a way that it loops back around to your life coaching as the thing that they need to buy in order to achieve the results of what they're teaching, guess what? It's not, you're basically just teaching people to kind of do what you do. And you're not going to be able to attract people that are actually interested in what you have to sell. All right. What's your best method for charging for a cover for Zoom workshop? Eventbrite. Eventbrite and or setting up a private group and charging, setting something up on like Thinkific or something like that, or Teachable, where you can host content and you can have like a processor to take the payments, right? So, or you could take PayPal and just add people to a group and then put the put the live stream information for Zoom in the group, or you could add them to an email list and send out the email. But I find that most people like to be added to a group and get that information there because it's easier. They don't lose the emails. Yeah. So real quick, if you were starting almost from scratch, what would be the first things that you do? Start a YouTube channel and start pumping out 5 to 10, 15-minute videos like 3 times a week and start generating a crap ton of content. The next thing I would do is I would invest in ads, boosting those YouTube videos. And then the next thing I would do is try to find some pods online. Like, for example, my course is like a pod where we kind of help each other with social media, but you can also find other pods where you can join. Sometimes they're free, sometimes there's a charge for them, but it's like for like, subscribe for subscribe, or helping you boost your content through engagement, like posting that they really liked this video or something and it helps boost it up. Because I have found that Facebook ads really aren't worth it. It's YouTube or IGTV. And in fact, I would do all of them simultaneously. Every single piece of content that you create, like a video, put it on YouTube, put it on your Facebook business page, put it on IGTV, and start putting some ad money towards it. That's what I would do if you want to build up credibility really, really quickly. And you have a little bit of an ad budget. Vivian says, make content based on frequently searched keywords in your niche. Yeah, and that's basically what I teach you how to do in 5 and 6, modules 5 and 6. And the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course, that's exactly what we do. We talk about how to find buzzwords for your brand. We talk about how to use keyword planners. We talk about how to actually find content that is related to your niche that people actually want to watch and look at, that's popular. We talk about how to polarize your audience, where you can kind of use a little bit of drama and a little bit of scandal to kind of build some engagement around your brand really quickly, So those are the 3 things that I would do. Yeah. Vila says, I've been doing that, but not consistently and not on brand enough, apparently. So start aiming. If you have no clients, start aiming for 3 videos a week. 3 videos a week. Anything less than that, it's going to take you a year or longer because where the magic really starts happening on YouTube is when you get your 1,000 subscribers. You need 1,000 subscribers. That's when you can start earning money from your YouTube videos. That's when the YouTube starts liking your things a lot better, starts positioning it because you have ad revenue basically enabled. So you basically become entered into the YouTube partner program. Yeah. You are welcome. I'm not great at polarizing. Yeah, I'm really, I try not to be too polarizing, but once in a while, man, it's fun. It's fun to just, cause a little drama. A little drama is a little scandal is a good thing. You don't want to be completely problematic every single day. Well, maybe you do. Maybe that's your brand. I'm not here to tell you anything about that, but, a little scandal is a little bit. So make YouTube videos, but not of readings, more informative about the niche you read in. Yep. So Lauren, when you get to modules 5 and 6, that will make a lot. You'll start, if you want, you can actually skip ahead to those modules. And if you really want to get started like today. So if you're in that course, if you do 5 and 6. Any tips on polarizing with Vivian? Go to module 6 in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach program. You're in that, aren't you? I think you are. So if you go there, that's where all the tips are. Viola says, perfect. That's my goal. 1,000 YouTube subs. You're welcome. Okay. What are some other things that are not really income generating? Okay, that I see people doing a lot. Raffles, contests, things like that. That's just honestly a waste of time. You don't need to be giving away free things, especially if you're in the beginning. Giving away free things is what you do after you've made your income goal and you've got all the clients that you could possibly want and more, and you have the time and the energy and the ability to give away free things. You don't give away free things like free services in particular, like free products. That's one thing, because like if you create a product once and it's yours, you can continuously give it away. If you're giving away services, stop giving away services as gifts and raffles and things like that. Create a digital product that you can just give out to everybody. Especially if you're on like guest podcasts and things like that, don't give away free services, give away a free gift. We call that an opt-in. All right. So those are some of the biggest things that I see that are time wasting things. Another thing that I see is a really big time wasting thing that I even used to do is spending a lot of time in Facebook groups or on social media, like trying to convert people into being clients. Like someone asked this not too long ago in the group, something like, I'm paraphrasing here and forgive me if I don't have the facts all correctly, but it was something to the effect of, she was like a self-love coach, or she wanted to do readings for love and relationships. And she was in lots of like relationship types of groups on Facebook. And she wanted to introduce people to getting readings from her, but she didn't want to seem like, but they weren't really like her target market because they weren't necessarily spiritual or even probably into tarot cards, something like that. So really be mindful of where you're spending your energy, networking, especially with that. Make sure that you're picking groups that are, one, welcome and open to that sort of thing, because the worst thing is to get kicked out of a place you love because, you're being obnoxious. Like, that sucks. That's happened to me before. And I know I've done it to other people. And like just being more intentional about the groups that you do go to. And honestly, I would stop spending your time in other people's groups and I would start spending time creating your own group and start building up your own community. How you do that is through your content, making sure that you are always linking back, and your call to action should always be to join your group or to join your mailing list, something like that, right? So making sure that you're trying to build up your own community as well, because you're going to be a lot more respected if you do it that way. Yeah. Viola says posting too much cutesy stuff to Instagram, but not getting engagement or paying customers from it. So you can't have an Instagram full of just your kitty cats and think it's going to attract customers. It will attract the kitty cat loving customer, but how many kitty cat loving customers? Can you really survive off of kitty cat loving customers? Maybe if you made that your niche and you made that like your overall brand. But if you're, it's like one of those things where whatever you do is fine, but you have to go full in. You have to go like 200% full in. Otherwise, it's not really getting you anywhere. So another thing that I see is that people don't ask for the sale. Like I see some people that never pitch themselves. They never talk about their work. They never post client reviews. They just assume people are just going to magically telepathically know that they have these services available, or your social media isn't branded. Like you're still hiding behind like a fake image, or you're using stock photos, or you're not showing your face, or you just have your hands, that sort of thing. Like, and all of that is well and good. But in this challenge specifically, we're talking about high value coaches, and high value coaches don't do those things, especially if you want to make $200, $400, $500, $1,000 in an hour. Okay. Or just like having an Instagram, but like there's no link to your business website. There's no inclination that you even do anything professionally. Like, I know we hate talking about ourselves, but honestly, you have to talk about yourself pretty much all the time because people just don't know. People aren't just going to magically get that. And then one rule of marketing is that I've found this to be completely true, is that you need to talk about the same one thing at least a minimum of 7 times before people even start paying attention. Think about how much stuff and content is on YouTube and Facebook nowadays. It's like just massive amounts of content. So you have to find ways to stand out. You have to find ways to be relevant. And then you don't have to give up your whole entire life to do that, but you do have to be intentional. And everybody says, but I'm so scared. I'm so scared of saying, I don't want to run off people and I don't want them to think that I'm all about the money. And you know what? You're running a business. Businesses profit. They are about money. If people can't come to terms with the fact that you are a business first and foremost on social media, then they don't need to even be a client of yours, because obviously they have some kind of boundary issue. There's some type of comprehension that's not there, or they're not going to be a soulmate client, right? They're not going to get you. So I know we hate talking about ourselves. I know we hate pitching because we don't want to be salesy. But the reality is that you do need to talk about yourself. And honestly, you should talk more about your business than you do your personal life if you need clients, especially. Okay. Vila says, I've noticed that you are very selective and seem to post mostly just business announcements. That's like what I just said. Also, you don't have thousands of followers there, but your business is doing well. So you're more targeted and wasting less time on pointless social media. So there's this thing that we automatically associate, having multiple thousands of followers as success. And it's sad, but that's not the truth. You can go buy followers. You can literally go buy 1,000 followers on Instagram for $5. If that'll make you feel better, you can go do it. Pretty much, I would say 80% of people that have multiple thousand followers do that. Okay. So, kind of peeling back the veil a little bit about that. So, but they do that. And so, yeah, striving to have thousands of followers is it's nice, but it's something that you do after you're making the money that you want to make, and you could hire a team to outsource that kind of thing for you. It's not something that you need to be focusing on. And it's true. I would rather have 100 people on my Instagram that I know are real people that are really interested in who I am and what I do and feel a connection to me, than have 100,000 people like just sock puppets out there, just like inflating my false sense of ego. Like yeah. So don't be afraid of having lower numbers. It's totally fine. And it's a matter of, I could totally spend $1,000 right now and boost my ads and, probably get to like 5,000 real people on Instagram. But then I think it's like, you have to think about the back end of your business. So let's say if you do magically overnight, something goes viral, right? You have a video that goes viral. This happens to people. I've had like some of my videos on YouTube have like 25,000 views. Some have like 80, like certain pieces of content will go viral, which means they get really popular really fast. And so like when that happens, you have to have contingency plans. Like, can you handle that much influx, right? You have to think about the systems. Like, do you have enough time in your schedule to have all these clients, especially at the price that you do already work at? Like, thinking about these things. Okay. So a lot of things can go wrong when you grow too quickly. And there is something to be said about growing in a rate that's comfortable to you, but challenges you as well. And then there's different types of sales, right? There's like macro transactions and micro transactions. And so microtransactions are transactions that are like $25 or less. Macro transactions are like $50 or more. And so it kind of depends on, so for example, if you want to sell a $25 item and you want to make $2,500 from it, then you're going to have like, what am I going to do math? 100. Then you have to have 100 buyers for that to make that amount of money. Or you could sell one package to one person for $2,500 for like a 3-month coaching package, and you only need that one person. Okay. So you kind of have to think, what am I selling? Is there a resale value? What's the return on investment? And how many people, because there's like, it's kind of like a game of like teeter-totter where you have to like, okay, I have this many people and this is what my pricing is, and this can kind of support me, right? And honestly, it just takes a little bit of time to kind of figure that out. And that's one thing that's really valuable about working with someone like me, is that I've tried a whole bunch of prices and I know what sells from a market point of view. And so that's what I try to teach in my courses too. Do I have the energy for all of it? Absolutely. And so when you start getting busier, one of the things that you might want to do or consider is raising your price. That's usually the very first thing because it eliminates a lot of people that aren't as very committed, right? Lynn says, that's something I worried about. I was getting too busy, but I feel like it's just an excuse that I'm making. So there's also something to be said about being too accessible. If you're too accessible, well, you're probably not that very good. You're not in high demand, right? So there is an art of making people wait. And, it's one part like boundaries and one part your schedule and just one part answering people and getting people in at a pace that's good for you. So I'm not going to bend over. If someone messages me on a Monday evening or when, let's say someone messages me on a Wednesday evening and they want to talk about scheduling a one-on-one session. I'm going to let them hang till Friday because I'm not back in the office till Friday, right? If you're too thirsty, if you're too desperate, I know that kind of is counterintuitive because people are like, if I don't make this sale, they're going to walk away. Chances are I've literally never had someone just walk away. Oh, I've just gone with someone else, or I bought this other thing. It doesn't happen, especially if you're committed to being a high value coach, creating the content, treating people well, treating members of your community well, giving back as much as you can. People are going to feel a sense of loyalty to you and they will wait. I've had to hire 2 moderators, but still feel like I need more help. I understand that. Yeah, I'm so incredibly grateful for our moderators because they help me a lot. So important. You've taught me so much about boundaries. Yeah, it's really important. I actually have a class. It was like a 5-day workshop, kind of like this, but it was 5 days. It's called Become a Biz Boundary Baddie. And I filmed it like 2 years ago when I was going through some really rough stuff. Oh my gosh, it was the first time I really had to I had an ugly fire. I had to fire a client and it was ugly. It was probably the ugliest thing that I ever had to go through. And then I also stepped away from a couple inner circles and the people that I used to collab with, I stopped collabing with them about 2 years ago. I was going through it. And I created that course while I was kind of going through it. And so if you want a really raw, upfront and personal, behind the scenes training on, what it's like to set boundaries and go through some of that crap, grab that training because it's pretty good. It'll make you become like a warrior. It will really activate your solar plexus for real. Okay. Income generating activities. So we are at 50 minutes in. So we have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to just go through some other income generating activities really quickly. So tomorrow we're going to be kind of wrapping up. Tomorrow, what am I going to be talking about tomorrow? Let me look real quickly. I don't even remember. That's how my brain gets on challenge week. So you just kind of get challenge brain and things start just mushing together. Oh, tomorrow. Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to talk about booking people, the actual process to booking people. We're going to talking more about yourself. So tomorrow I really want to focus on helping you understand how your story and how the things that have happened to you in your life are actually the catalyst to booking clients. So that's what we're going to focus on tomorrow. I remember, and it was so needed, so good and needed. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So some more income generating activities would be doing guest kind of speaking engagements, doing guest blog posts, doing guest interviews with people. Make sure you're picking people that actually have audiences though. Don't just get together with your girlfriend or some random person. I mean, honestly, if you want the practice, that's fine. But I would just say be intentional. Pick people that actually have a little bit of an audience. I would say if they have less than 100 people in their group or less than 100 subscribers, I would say, come back and hit me up when you're a little bit bigger. It's just not really worth the 1 hour, that I would probably spend. But you could do find people that are in a similar and complementary niche, but not exactly what you do, or they focus on a different aspect of it, right? So for example, I'll pick on Sarah. Sarah Harvey, I did a collab with her last year, very successful collab. She joined my program last year. She was in it like 3 months, and then she started setting up her Etsy shop, and then she started making like 2K a month on Etsy. And so she's like an Etsy whiz. She's like really, really good at Etsy. She understands Etsy, and she also has a really good background in customer service. And so we did a collab, and that was awesome. And so that's what I mean by picking, like, I don't coach people how to work on Etsy. That's Sarah's thing. So she's similar niche to mine, but she doesn't do exactly the same thing I do, right? And do guest interviews. Like, you go on their show, they go on your show. You guys do that back to back, right? So also you could join some like what are they? Joint ventures, okay? Doing telesummits, doing the like video telesummits, doing joint venture things where you I don't know if you guys have done any joint ventures. I used to do these all the time when I was building my list. There's like joint ventures where you can go and you basically you make an account on a website and you upload like a free gift, and then it becomes available to everybody. Okay, so getting your opt-in out there is really important. Some other income generating activities besides following up with past leads, following up with people, offering some type of like group coaching, creating content. What are some other things that I have listed here? Cross-posting your blogs or your YouTubes. Like, if you have old content, recycle that. So if you've made a YouTube video, do a transcription of that and create a blog post and put it somewhere, okay? Or create like a couple little graphics off of that YouTube that are like related to that video, and just try to figure out ways that you can stretch your content. That's a really, really big thing. Socialize and network in groups. That's going to be a really big thing too. These are things you want to do like on a daily basis where you're working, is socializing. Make sure you make some friends. Go into like the Profitable Psychic, connect with people, because it's really important that the reality is you can't do this alone. You can't. So you need friends. You need friends in high places. You need friends that you can network with. You need friends that can give you referrals. So making friends, and I know this is hard for a lot of our introverts, but that's where it all kind of goes back to like making sure you're doing this in the right groups and filling out a group first before you really dedicate a lot of time to, getting in, like establishing yourself in a group, because you want to make sure that you're not just trying to make friends with people who don't have boundaries and who are codependent. You want to make sure that you're in a group where it's like, okay, we're here for one purpose, right? And being on mission for that purpose. Another thing you could do on a daily basis that you work, start journaling about like a new product or about a new service or a new reading that you want to do, or journal about your ideal client avatar, do some copywriting. Those are all income generating things, even though they're not like outwardly, like I'm putting this on social media, it's still income generating, because the more clear you are about who you are, who you help, how you help them, the clearer the message is. And when your message is really, really clear, the money comes very easily. Now, on a weekly basis, you should be committing to at least selling one thing. So you sit down the first day of the week, you say, what do I want to sell this week? And what are the 5 actions I'm going to take to sell this thing? Okay, I'm going to email my newsletter. I'm going to post about it on Instagram. I'm going to create some content around this. I'm going to do a live stream that talks about this new product or service that I'm offering. Those are income generating things. And some other things that you could do is making sure that you're sending out a weekly newsletter. I'm really bad about sending it out weekly. I try to send out at least 2 or 3 a month. I would say no less than 2 per month. If you're only doing 1 a month, it's just not really relevant enough, So I would bump that up and just start sharing information, share things about your life, talk about the client that you just helped. Talk about the review that you just got. Talk about how excited you are that you're creating this thing. When you tell people about like what you're excited about, it gets them excited. And so they become more interested. Another thing you can do is you can offer some type of quote or question of the day. So a lot of things that I see people doing wrong is they'll just put like up a meme and like that's it. Like they won't put anything like else to it. So if you're going to put up a meme, like if you're going to put up an inspiration quote, talk about what that means to you, like create that connection through storytelling. If you're going to come up with the question of the day, make sure it's something that's like not like, what's your favorite color? Like stupid like that. Like like, what's your biggest struggle with this? Or where do you feel like you need support with this? Or what would you really like to learn about this? Make sure that you're using market research in your questions and not just like asking questions just to get people engaged, because it's kind of a waste of time. And then you want to make sure you're posting on social media at least a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week. How would you approach a collab with someone who has a lot of followers and experience? So what I would do, Vivian, is I would make a media file, which is basically like a PDF. It has your picture, your bio, and a little bit of like what your niche is and the topics that you like to talk about. And then the second page would be like all of your social media links, that sort of thing. And then send them an email, because most people will have like some type of booking email, or send it to their Facebook or something like that and say, hey, I'm looking for collaborative partners. Here's my portfolio. Basically, let me know if you're interested in working together. And that's how I would do that personally. There's also like groups on Facebook where you can go, like some of like VA groups, like virtual assistant groups, and there's like collaboration groups and things like that. So getting into those pods, and that's just a matter of trying to figure out where those places are, you know? So how do we talk about ourselves? I have no idea. It goes back to your story. So Kara, go back to module 4 in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course. Redo that module, because you need to understand a little bit about who you are, what your story is, how your story relates to your brand. And then it will be easier to be able to talk about yourself, because you can pick little elements from your story and talk about that little element, or you can create like a quote that talks about that story, or, you know, some type of content, right? So it is difficult, but yeah, so start talking about yourself more. And if you can't talk about yourself, talk about the people that you like to help. Talk about the awesome client that you just got off the phone with, or talk about the great reading that you just did and the breakthroughs that you had with that person, right? You're welcome. Okay, any questions today? That wraps up session 2. This is going to be crazy because we're going to be done with this so quickly. It's going to be over before we know it. But tomorrow, we're going to talk more about the booking process. We're going to talk about a little bit about making sales on Messenger. I'm going to talk about Messenger sales. So instead of doing discovery calls, you can do Messenger discovery chats, which are pretty awesome. Like, you can definitely sell $1,000 package in 15 minutes talking to someone over Messenger. It's happened before. I do it. And it's great for those extroverts that don't like to get on the phone, because that's me. Okay, you're welcome. So basically, what I want you to do today for your homework is I want you to get out 2 pieces of paper or 1 piece of paper. So what you could do is I want you to create 2 columns. So 1 piece of paper with 2 columns, or 2 pieces of paper. So what I want you to do is on one side, on the left side, I want you to put up weekly or daily, however you want to do it. Do the left side daily, right side weekly. And I want you to write down at least 5 things in each column. Daily, on the days that I work, these are the tasks I need to do. I need to follow up with people. I need to answer messages. I need to figure out what I'm selling. These are the things that you need to do on a daily basis that you work. On a weekly basis, I want you to create 5 tasks that I want you to do on a weekly basis. Uploading a YouTube video and creating content, writing a blog post, trying to release a podcast or do a guest interview, or share a quote or a question of the day and share a part of my story with my followers. Okay. So this is your homework. And if you want, you can go play on Trello, which is what I recommend. Create a new board, and you can just literally call it intention segmenting if you want. Create 1 card for daily and 1 card for weekly, and start creating little things that you want to accomplish on a daily and a weekly basis that will help bring you closer to actually closing sales, showing up in a high value way, and establishing credibility and validity for your business. Okay. This is great stuff. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Post it in the group if you would like to. If you would like to post it in the comments, you can certainly do that. And if you have any questions, I'll be available to answer comments in the thread here in a little bit. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And I'll see you for day 3 tomorrow. Bye.